Hey everybody, this is Thor W. I'm doing this recording as a submission to SGDQ. In 2017 for AGDQ, Bubbles Del Fuego did the any percent route for Dark Souls 3, and I figure in SGDQ, since we've done every other Souls game route that's known to man, why not go ahead and do the all bosses route for this one, since it's never been done in AGDQ. So, without any further ado, my Twitch chat has said that the donation incentive name for this run will be Rainbow Stare. That's what you do in my chat when you get a gold split, you Rainbow Stare, because rainbows are awesome. And, yeah, everything else is already set up and ready to go, so we are going to go ahead and start the timer in 3, 2, 1, go! So, in Dark Souls 3, our starting class is the Assassin, and that's not necessarily because the Assassin has a good set of armor, or a good weapon to start with, or even a good shield. All of that's kind of not true. But the Assassin does have a spell known as Spook, and Spook has fall control wrapped inside of it, along with Hush. And anyone that may have seen some speedruns of other Souls games knows that fall control is able to break the game in several different ways, and really saves a lot of time. So even though some of the other classes may have an easier startup and an easier beginning than Assassin does, because of the power of Spook, Assassin does outspeed the others by actually quite a bit. We started with the Black Firebomb gift because it's going to help us out with killing this happy fellow, Udex Gundyr, and a couple of other things later on. So Udex Gundyr is our tutorial boss. He's actually a pretty darn good tutorial boss. Even his name is good. Udex means judge, and he's here to judge us. But the problem is, as a speedrun boss, this guy kind of sucks because of stuff like this, which means I have to wait for him to finish doing whatever he's doing before I can hit him. Otherwise, he's just going to do it again, and he would dodge my attack along with hit me. Which is really bad. Like, if I was running this for real, that would be a reset, because that lost a lot of time. Like, that was like 6-7 seconds slower than I want Udex Gundyr to be, just because of him spamming that little run around and slash attack, which is really annoying. But hey, you know what? It's fine. There's plenty more run to go, so 6 or 7 seconds isn't too big of a deal. So we're coming now into Firelink Shrine, and we have a little bit of business to do here. Firelink Shrine in Dark Souls 3 is a lot more like the hub in previous Souls games, like Demon Souls and Bloodborne and stuff. We're gonna buy 2 fire bombs here, a prism stone, a homeward bone, a dagger, and the large leather shield. And we're going to use most of those items that we just bought right away. Oh, hiccup. I'm sorry if I sound like a little bit nasally or anything like that. I am pretty sick while recording this, but I figure, hey, that's no big deal anyway. Everyone gets sick when they go to PAX anyway. So what we did there was we threw a couple of fire bombs behind Firelink Shrine to hit a crystal lizard, which will drop a twinkling titanite, which is the main upgrade material for the route that I'm doing, because of the weapon that we're going to be using. It's also why we have the prism stone and the large leather shield to drop here, because they are each worth a twinkling titanite when traded to the Pumperum Crows, I guess is what they're called in this one. I know it was Snuggly in Dark Souls 1, but I guess they changed the name of the crows. Not 100% sure. Ooh, minor hiccup there. And with that, we can now teleport straight to the High Wall of Lothric. You know, interesting thing, first time I came here to Firelink Shrine, and I threw the sword into that, I didn't know that I had to teleport to get to the High Wall of Lothric, so I spent like 25, 30 minutes running around the entire area, having no clue where to go. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be like Dark Souls 1 or even Dark Souls 2, where I just run out and go to the next place, right? I was entirely wrong. And I had to touch the bonfire, and it gave me a new place to teleport, which is so different from what I was expecting at the time. So, we're just going to be running through the High Wall of Lothric right here. There's not a whole lot to explain. If we have a donation that the announcer would like to read at this time, that would be a pretty darn good time for it. Go for it, dude. Alright, thank you. We've got one here, $50, and it reads, "Greetings from Germany. Long-time viewer, first-time donator. Been having a great time for this entire great week, and it's really great that I get the chance to donate to this great cause. Hopefully you guys realize how great that this entire event has been, and how great it's been to watch this and have my sleep schedule messed up. Put this towards saving the animals, because we should embark on great quests to save them, just like Doctors Without Borders." Woo! Good donation, dude! So, coming up here, what we're going to try to do is, I'm going to grab these black fire bombs, and I got it. That's an animation cancel that you can do by slipping off. And I'm going to do one quick little safety measure, which I know that didn't look very safe, and I took a lot of damage, but I'm grabbing that ember for the future, just in case. Don't worry about it, that guy's never killed me in my entire life. Fun fact, I've actually never died to that guy. Even though he looks very dangerous and very intimidating, that guy has never been able to get me. So, I'm grabbing that ember, that's an extra. That's just in case something weird happens later on, but we should be entirely fine, you know, take a couple seconds, make the run a little bit safer. That way I can do a neat little trick later on. So, we just talked to Emma, and she gave us the small Lothric banner. We need to do that in order to go to the next area. And we quit out there because that is a boss arena. And as long as the boss hasn't been killed, if you quit out there, it puts you outside of the building and saves you about 5 seconds of running back through the building after speaking with the NPC. And now we're on to our second boss, which in this obvious arena. So, Vort of the Boreal Valley, he looks kind of intimidating. He's got big, intimidating music. But this guy he's got this big problem where he's got a big belly and a blind spot under it. And if you just stand there and poke him in the belly, he does not know what to do. Poor Vort. So now he's going to charge 3 times in his second phase, and charge up a big breath weapon. But the problem with charging a big breath weapon is while you're charging the big breath weapon, you are open to getting attacked. So, pretty easy boss fight overall. Normally I don't activate this bonfire, but as a minor safety strat, we're going to go ahead and do that. The only reason that I would ever need that would be failing a boss fight that I haven't lost to in months, but marathon luck, question mark? Might happen. Alright. So there's our first instance of Spook being OP, being able to drop off there really fast and grab that alluring skull rather than running all the way down there and all the way back. Definitely a quicker method. Oh, please excuse me. Being sick is black. So coming up here, we're going to quit out as we reach this doorway because of the fact that quitting out not only allows you to cheat in various multiple ways, but one of the big ways is that when you quit out, it will reset the position and the aggro of any enemies that are in the area. So it gets that guy out of the doorway, it gets his friend out of the doorway, it allows me to pass through without being attacked. And it just makes that a lot smoother. Technically, you can go through faster without quitting out, even going through in-game time, but you have to be a little bit lucky with what kind of movements and attacks the enemies do. So, you know, it's basically just better to quit out every single time. Whoop. Alright. So, what we're doing right now is, before we go to our next boss, we're going to take a couple moments to prepare ourselves. Sir, please. A couple moments to prepare ourselves for the remainder of the game, and specifically, we're going to go grab the main weapon of the run. Also, it's pretty interesting that quitting out and loading everything back in it's maybe 1 second slower in real time for a doorway than it is to just go right through it. I think I'd probably just go straight through the doors on most of them rather than quitting out, but weird. So, until we reach that NPC and have to explain more, this would be a great time for more donations! Woo! And this is where the announcer would be reading a donation. I, too, could read a cheeky GDQ-like donation right now if I wanted to. But I'm afraid I might cough all over myself. So instead, I will be quiet. Alright, great donations. So, right over here, we're finally reaching the NPC known as Henri. I actually put my armor back on because Henri has to die, because we want his sword. His sword's a good sword. Whoops, I'm sorry. I completely missed. Here you go, Henri. I'm sorry, Horace. Okay, so, the strategy for Henri has changed a little bit over time. And specifically, once Henri takes 3 hits, he will aggro. So, we do a strong charged R2. Oh. Weird. He didn't aggro.
You've gone hollow, have you?
I've gone hollow, have I?
Rest. Horace.
And despite being full health, I'm going to heal here because that'll make sure that Henri stays aggressive and runs to me as fast as possible. And that's our basic strategy, is to get onto that little cliff and use gravity as our best friend. Weird that he didn't aggro me on the 3rd hit and I had to do a 4th, but that's fine. It just means that Henri won't survive a fall that he normally might be able to if you're really unlucky and he bounces the wrong way. Dog, please. Come on, dog. Oh, well, everything went really smooth. That was a very smooth Henri overall. We're going to grab our Grass Crest shield, because it's the best shield in Dark Souls. Like every Dark Souls, it's the best shield. As it increases stamina recovery. So, as we get to these 2 executioners, I need one of them to fall down this hole. Oh, thanks, dude. Because 1,500 more souls means that I get another level up. Heck, if the second one falls down, that'd be pretty neat too, but it doesn't always happen. With that extra 1,500 souls, I'll be able to secure an extra level up when we finally do go to level our character up a little bit. But before we do that, we're going to do one quick thing here over in the Farron Swamp. Since I am in the area, we're going to go ahead and move through the muck. And in the Farron Swamp, we have to put out 3 fires. Each of them actually represents a Lord Soul, shard from Dark Souls 1. This one is the Four Kings, as you can kind of see on the mural there. So that one is done nice and neat, and we'll leave the other two for later. For now, we're going to go back to the Undead Settlement, because there's a boss that we have to go kill there that I didn't do the first time, because I really wanted Henri's straight sword for it. I could have definitely done it with the rapier, but the problem is that the boss that we're heading to has some hitbox issues when it comes to thrusting weapons, where you can... It specifically has weak points that you have to attack in order to hurt it, and sometimes thrusting weapons will go straight through that weak point and absolutely not hit it. So thrusting weapons are kind of a big pain in the butt to use against that boss. So taking a moment to go get Henri's straight sword first means that we kind of simplify the problem there, make matters a little bit easier on ourselves. So we're going to grab this Estus shard so that we can have a little bit more Estus in our life. Grab this Ember. And you're going to see me doing this a lot with Henri's straight sword, where I will be spamming unequip and re-equip on it again and again and again. And what that does is, since Henri's sword has a blessing infusion... Whoops. Since Henri's sword has a blessing infusion on it, it heals you over time. But anytime it is equipped, it heals 2 health right away. So if I keep spamming like this, again and again and again, every time I do that, it's 2 more health. And I will slowly but surely recover my health back to full over the course of a long jog from one place to another. And the nice thing about it is that it's faster than Estus because of the fact that I don't have to stop running in order to do this. I can keep doing this while I am running from place to place. And you can see we're almost full health already. Excuse me, sir. I need to get right through there. Alright, perfect. Wonderful. And we're full health. Let's go ahead and equip some of our boss fighting gear. Not going to use all of it quite yet, but it's nice to just have it ready. So Curse Rod of Greatwood, as you can kind of see around the arena, has some peasants worshipping it, sitting all around it. These guys are ads in the boss fight, and they are very annoying. So in order to make life a little easier, we're going to throw that Alluring Skull and distract them for a while. Wow, 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 wowie, wow, wow. What am I doing? I haven't missed that in a long time. So he's going into phase 2 now. Nice hitbox there. He kind of hit his hitbox underground there. Boop-de-boo. Phase 2. I'm gonna have to hit his hand a couple times. This has been a really poor fight, to be honest. But that's on me. That's an oopsie. Easily recoverable. And we're gonna go right back to the shrine as he dies. That was maybe like a, I don't know, 5-6 second time loss at most. How embarrassing. So back at the shrine, we're going to sell 4 of these embers that we picked up. I did pick 1 extra up as a safety precaution, and our boss souls. We're going to reinforce our Henri's straight sword to a +2, allot our Estus, reinforce our Estus flask, because Andre does that in this game, so that we can have more charges on it. And level ourselves up to 22 luck. We have just enough souls to do. Heck, we even have a couple extra. I could buy 2 firebombs with this many souls. I'm rich. We're going back to the Crucifixion Woods bonfire, which we picked up after we killed Henri for his sword. So, it's not a very long run to the next boss. So I'll just go ahead and explain right now. We're heading towards the RNG Sage. Crystal Sage is the actual name, but we call it the RNG Sage because specifically we need this we need the boss to do 1 attack, we need the boss to cast Crystal Homing Soul Mass, and until then, can't really fight the boss. The reason we need that is while Crystal Homing Soul Mass is out and hasn't fired off, the boss can't start teleporting around and making clones of itself. Lucky. Very lucky. And now we just have to kill the boss. Usually it takes a couple moments before the boss decides it wants to cast. Ah, whoops. I messed up a little bit there on my movement, but this is fine. This should be it. Nope. No big deal. Not a big deal. Easy peasy. See, that boss fight is actually kind of hard if you let Crystal Sage take a while to go around cloning itself, and each of the clones shoots real magic that does real damage, and it spawns with 3 clones at once. Each of them can cast, each of them has the ability to cast, sorry, I had to concentrate there for a moment, Crystal Soul Spear, which does a lot of damage. It would do, like, at least half my health per hit, and that would be a bad time. So we picked up the Herald set there, specifically because that has better physical defense. So it means that against most bosses, I would have 1 extra hit, which is nice. Also, it looks better. It has a cape once I equip the torso armor to it. But I'm not equipping that quite yet because of reasons. So, oh, nice teleport, dog. Oof, what a pro. And another one. Oh man, these dogs are amazing. So I'll be running to the next spot, and until we get there, we don't really have too much to explain. I'm about to activate the bonfire next to the portal to the DLC, so if we have any more donations for the time being, this would be a great time to do it. We can probably get 2-3 donations in before we get to the point where I need to talk again. All right, we've got one here that's for $50. It says, proud to see one of my favorite streamers streaming one of my favorite games. Good luck on the run, Thor, and put this towards killing the animals. I just can't stop myself from talking. All right, so back to the run. So, we quit out there because I'm about to do another firebomb throw. Much like we did back at the beginning of the game at Firelink Shrine, I'm going to throw a firebomb to kill a crystal lizard that lives, well, in this case, behind the Cathedral of the Deep, because that is the area we're in right now. And this one will also be dropping us a Twinkling Titanite. So, another upgrade material for Henri's Straight Sword there. And I'm actually using the tip of my shield to line myself up for this. And we're going to throw 2 black firebombs. And we're good to go. Also, you notice that spamming Henri's Straight Sword healed me back up from half health to full. And Kobe never missed a firebomb throw in my life. I'm the best. Can go ahead and put the Herald armor on now. The whole reason I didn't equip it was because this cape gets in the way of lining my foot up for that firebomb throw. Gonna go ahead and keep that Thrall in there, because I would rather he not run out here and attack me while I'm trying to run through the area. Very nice, very good, very good, alright. So yeah, this little home stretch part of the run through the Cathedral of the Deep is really extremely dangerous, as there are just a lot of enemies that want to hit you. There's that thrall that comes out of the doorway, there's the 3 guys shooting flaming arrows at you, the 2 grave keepers that with their twin swords, and then finally the 2 guys that light themselves on fire and try to give you a big hug. All very, very dangerous enemies that can do a lot of damage to you, if not just outright kill you in 2 hits. So gotta be real careful on that that home stretch area. So once again, we're going to pull our dagger out because we've got some muck to jump through. The whole reason we got the dagger in the first place, as you may have seen in the Farron Swamp, was so that we can go through mucky, swampy stuff faster. Because in this stuff, you're forced to walk or fat roll. But if you have the quick step weapon art, which the basic dagger does, you can do this instead. Which is a lot faster. Good, he's not going to get close enough to me. Not anytime soon, at least. So, interesting thing is that Thrall can go through the muck and run through it the whole time, while I have to do the quick step to go through it fast. So, you know, he's a cheater. He's a filthy cheater. So we picked up Lloyd's Sword Ring along the way. Because Lloyd's Sword Ring, while we have it equipped, will give us 10% more damage if we're at full HP. Which is a, that's actually pretty significant, because we try to be at full health for the majority of this run. Because we don't really have a good red Tearstone Ring effect in this game to make use of. And now it's time for the Deacons of the Deep. We're going to play Hot Potato with this soul. We want this soul to get into the small guys, because it'll do the same damage no matter what once it gets out of them. And small guys take less hit to kill. We should have one more, yep. And now the actual boss is going to spawn. Wonderful. Wonderful. That's exactly the opposite of what I wanted. Classic Deacons of the Deep. This fight is so luck-based. I really hate it. I really hate this fight. Oh my god, I'm getting thrown around like a human pinball. Finally, finally, you're not sitting next to the fat guys. I'm gonna have to heal real quick. Don't mind me, guys. No, no healing. No healing him. There we go. Oh, that was a really slow fight. That was one of the unluckiest Deacons fight I've had in a long time. Ooh, 10 out of 10. That was great. I got bullied. So that fight's not hard in most cases, but when you're trying to do it fast and you're trying to do it with a pretty small weapon, so you can't really clear out the big pile of enemies quickly, it creates a pretty rough fight, because you can just get bounced around from one enemy to the next, and you can get hit by one enemy and then hit by another and then hit by another, and you can just get chain stunned by it. It can quickly go from an easy fight to a really rough fight. So we are now in the DLC area of Dark Souls 3. DLC 1 at least. This is a level 70 to 80 area, and we're level 22, so, you know, we're gonna be fine. As always, in Dark Souls 3, we gotta have some dogs. We also have these awesome tree ladies. We're gonna go ahead and quit out to get rid of the dogs. The dogs sometimes aren't really that dangerous, and they're easy enough to get away from, and other times will stick to you like glue. So it's just a relatively smart idea to get rid of them. Make sure that we don't have that chance for them to destroy me. I really like the tree lady enemies. They're super cool. They breathe ice and shoot fire. They are a song of fire and ice. So, I don't really have any big tricks to explain or anything like that. Now would be another great time to read off some donations while we just run through the DLC here. Whee! Best part of the whole DLC right there. Have to quit out to get rid of that guy. All right. So Dark Souls 3 is, you know, probably the perfect game. I don't think there are any glitches in it at all. Like, we can't at all jump up this rock. FromSoft says it's impossible. Or onto this roof. FromSoft made sure that we could not jump onto these things with their hitboxes. So, you know, kind of rude of them not to leave that in the game for us so that we could easily make our way through the area. I love being backhanded to them. It's great. So we're going to quit out here. Because we do want to kill that crystal lizard. We don't want it to run off the edge. We also don't want it to run straight down the pathway because there is a person hanging from the rooftops of the little archway that is in front of us. And like I said before, this is a level 70 to 80 area. So the enemies here will kill me in no more than 2 hits. And I have to be pretty careful while running through it. Otherwise, well, you know, I'll die. Dying is a bad time. I'd rather we not. So that soul I picked up, this is an 8,000 soul thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and use it. We do have to fight one person while we're here. Wilhelm, right here, has to be killed. He has an awesome deep voice and a big black glowy sword. He wants to attack us. Come on, come make some snow angels with me. But we're not going to fight him traditionally. Since, well, he's got a lot of health and does a lot of damage. Instead, we're going to play a game of King of the Mountain. Because I'm really good at King of the Mountain and I think I can win. I think I can become King of the Mountain. I did it. I'm the best. Still undefeated champion of the mountain. So by killing him, we get the contraption key, and that'll activate this lever, which does this. Take that, books. I think that they thought it would be really, really fun to just smash a pile of books and send them flying around everywhere. And you know what, FromSoft, you're right. That is really fun. We're going to go ahead and take this safety bonfire, just in case, but we'll be fine. I honestly don't know why I take safety bonfires at all. I've never had to be safe in my life. This is the easiest speedrun in the universe. Never dangerous. Running past all these enemies that can kill me in 2 hits. Never dangerous. So, normally through running sections, I'm fine with donations being read off, but I'd actually like some audience participation. Count the dogs with me, guys. That's 2 dogs. Here's 3 dogs. Yay. There's 4 dogs. Woo. There's 5 dogs. And there's 6. 6 dogs. Oh, I hope everyone enjoyed our Sesame Street portion of the speedrun. I did. So, we're quitting out here for 2 reasons. 1, we're going to de-aggro the dogs that all jumped at us. And 2, we're actually going to despawn an enemy. For some reason, I don't know why, there is a big Viking that, if you quit out in the area, goes away. He stops being there. And while he's usually not a problem, sometimes he can stagger his attack, along with the big Viking there that shot an arrow at me. And, you know, he can cause trouble. Like, he can hit me and do a lot of damage, and then the other guy can pull his weapon out and hit me, or he can knock me off the cliff. There's various things that could go wrong. They usually don't, but out of safety for the run, because, oh man, that'd be a big old walk of shame if we got killed by them at that area. Out of safety for that, I just decided, why not add one quick little quit out? Not a big deal. And it's time to bone back home. So that was our initial run through the DLC. You know, only 50 levels under leveled, no problem. And now it's time to set ourselves up for the next boss. So we're going to sell our boss souls here. And we're going to level up our weapon to a +3 now. And reinforce our Estus Flask one more time.
Be careful.
So we'll have 6 charges. And, you know, health is for people that die, and we haven't died yet. Let's just level up luck. Perfect. We're now at 34 luck. And let's get back to the Faring Keep, because it's time to go through the swamp, as that is the only place left for us to go. We've gone through everywhere else that we can so far. I mean, technically I could go fight the bosses of the DLC, but I don't feel like dying in a single hit against them. That's a rough fight, you know? It's a rough fight. So I swapped back to the Assassin's gear here, because it has better poison resistance on it, and it allows me to run through the swamp a lot smoother without getting poisoned. Getting poisoned would kind of defeat the purpose of going through things fast. And I will be quitting out against this area, because those two bullies pushed me up into the corner, and they're trying to take my lunch money. So I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna tell them no, and I'm gonna leave. Although one of them might not take it well, might try to hit me on the load back in. Let's see. Oh, good. Nice. So we've only got one more fire to go. Oh, fun fact, that fire was representative of the Bed of Chaos, and the little mural on the thing above it looks like the Bed of Chaos, if anyone's never taken a good look at it before. So the last one must be Nito, our best friend from Dark Souls 1. There he is, look at all those bones. So again, we're going to just get rid of these guys with a quit out, because I'd prefer not to have them hitting me against the wall where I can't really do anything. Honestly, when they do that kind of thing, you can just become helpless. You can actually become trapped. And unless you were able to fight your way out, you wouldn't be able to get out of there. But in Dark Souls 3, that's really tough to do if you get trapped against a wall. We'll take this for safety, why not? And we're going to swap back to our Herald set, because we're not really going to be running through the swamp anymore. We've got these big double doors open. And all that's left is the little home stretch run to the boss fight. But along the way, there are two sets of a pair of enemy. Two sets of enemies that are very dangerous. The first set is coming up right here. It's a couple of Dark Wraiths. And I really don't want them to do certain attacks. That would be the certain attack, but luckily the other guy didn't do it as well. Otherwise, I'd be dead, because they would have changed it into something else. That attack is really quick. And if they both do it, that's a lot of damage. Here's the other one. These guys are usually a little bit easier to get past, and they were this time as well. Very nice. Very good overall. A little bit unlucky with the Dark Wraiths there, but it could have been a lot worse. Could have been so much worse. Those guys are so dangerous. They've got some fast, hard-to-dodge attacks. So, we're actually going to do a super neat trick here for the Abyss Watchers. or as I like to call them, the Artorias fan club. And this is going to take a very specific setup, which I am currently not particularly on path for. Let's try again. It feels wrong right now. Hold on. So what we're attempting to do is we're going to quit out inside of the boss room, but we're going to have it so that, there we go. We're going to have it so that it puts us inside of the boss room instead of outside of the boss fog. And what that does is the way that the Abyss Watchers works is once they've been spawned, if the boss fog goes up, it will deload the boss's AI so that it can save on memory and the game can run smoother. So the game accidentally putting us inside of the boss fight room means that it will deload the boss's AI, and we can walk right into it, and the boss would kind of just stand there. We could take a selfie with him or anything like that, but I guess this is a speed run, no fun allowed. Instead, we're just going to attack it. So normally this boss fight can be really annoying and it can take a while, and normally it has some pretty good music for it, but you know, we're going fast, so we can go ahead and skip all of that in the name of speed. Go ahead and pop its boss soul. Wonderful. What a good fight. Took me a moment or two to line that up, to make sure that that was lined up. If you fail the lineup, like, that is a very specific spot to quit out at. If you fail to do it properly, then what can happen is you can be spawned inside of the fog wall, and you can be trapped in there, and barring some very erratic and lucky movement that might push you out of it, the only way out would be to use a Homeward Bone. And then you'd have to fight the boss anyway, and that would be slow. That'd be so slow. Oof. But instead, we did it perfectly. Please leave me alone, sir. I'm just a young lad trying to make his way through life. You don't need to attack me. So here's an illusory wall. And we're going to quit out here because there are a couple of enemies that are very dangerous trying to hit us here, and we need to pick something up. So resetting their aggro is a very good idea. Not would be, but is a very good idea. So we're going to grab the Grave Warden's Ashes. That's going to allow us to buy some more stuff in the shop, specifically Carthus Rouge. It allows us to inflict bleed onto our weapon. And, you know, Naruto over there is jumping around trying to throw kunai knives at me, telling me that he's going to be the next Hokage, believe it. I don't believe anything from him. He is still chasing me. What is wrong with you, dude? Get a life. So, hey, that was a pretty short run. When you know where to go in the catacombs, it is a very short pathway to the boss. So, let's go ahead and let's touch this goblet. And once we do, we are spawned into... This is kind of the Abyss, to be honest. To fight the boss. So, this is High Lord Volnir. He has some dank bling on his wrists. And that's not allowed. The only one that's allowed to have dank bling around here is me. Because I am the protagonist of this story. Move your hand now, sir. And goodbye, Volnir. He's dead. So yeah, destroying those bracelets does massive damage to him. The lore reason for that is because those bracelets are keeping him from being sucked into the Abyss, and by destroying them, you're making it so that he gets pulled into the Abyss, and that's why he has that death animation where he just kind of slides into the darkness. Which is pretty neat. I think that's a pretty neat thing. I hope you guys think so too. So, welcome to Irithyll of the Boreal Valley. This is, in my opinion, the most beautiful place in the entire game. I mean, look at that. That is lovely to look at. Kind of Bloodborne-ish in the Gothic architecture, but I really like the blue hues of it and everything. I mean, I guess there's a minor rat problem in the area, but otherwise, you know, most cities have that. No need to worry. Pretty nice place, pretty neat place. Don't worry, he can't get us. He's just angry. He's just mad about life. So, the thing about Irithyll is, while it's a very nice place to look at, it's a very rough place to go through. A lot of the enemies are pretty annoying to face. So, we're going to take a shortcut here. We're going to take a shortcut. It's a little hard to achieve, but FromSoft was kind enough to leave this intended shortcut, we're not cheating here. They were nice enough to leave this shortcut in the game for us. Because they thought, you know, if players are just this good to do a frame-perfect jump, then, hey, they deserve it. And there we go. Look at that shortcut. Beautiful. Simplest shortcut of my life. I don't understand myself. Like, I can do this darn near frame-perfect jump. By the way, we're done with Irithyll. We did it, guys. Clap. Anyway, we can do this darn near frame-perfect jump first try all the time, but I can't do simple stuff. Simple stuff gets me. Hard stuff is like, yeah, I got that. So, in this area right outside of this doorway here, normally we would be invaded by an NPC, and there was actually supposed to be an NPC invasion earlier in the Crucifixion Woods, but we're avoiding it by being offline on both the game and on Steam. I don't know why, but if you're offline on both, for some reason, NPCs, like, either they have their invasion area changed, or they just don't invade you at all. Certain NPCs, not all of them. It's really weird. I don't understand why it works like that, but it does. So these are like the most annoying enemy in the game casually, because they kill your max HP. They lower your max HP, which you'd think, you know, maybe you'd keep your percentage HP. Nah, you're stuck at whatever HP you're stuck at after they lower your max HP. As you can see there, my health bar finally came back. They can take you all the way down to 1 HP as your max HP. What a bunch of annoying enemies, you know? So we're going to do a fall control quit out here. Like I explained before, or maybe I didn't, I don't know. My memory is terrible. I'm an old man. Fall control quit outs work as whenever you do actions in Dark Souls games in general, the game likes to save your position. So menuing like this, you'll see the little flame in the top right. That's the game saving my position, saving the information about where I am and stuff. So if I have fall control on, which prevents me from dying immediately when taking a fatal fall, it doesn't do the damage to me, I can trick the game into thinking I was alive when I hit the ground, and I can quit out there, and the game will be like, oh, you were alive on the ground here? Well, I guess that's where you are. And just put me there. It's a really good way to take a mechanic that's supposed to make the game harder for you in order to kind of cheat and make the game a bit easier for you. And we're going to do one here as well. Just to skip that ladder. It's just a little bit faster to do a fall control quit out than it is to ride the ladder there. And now it's time to go on to a pretty cool looking boss, but ultimately a little disappointing. He's a gimmick boss fight. And we're gonna go fight Yorm, the Profaned King. Anyway, Yorm is very strong, and one good hit from him will kill me, so I'll have to be a little bit careful, but otherwise he's a bit of a pushover. But when they do say giant, They mean giant. This guy's big. Very big. But hey, shoutouts to Demon Souls. We got the Storm Ruler, baby. So, much like Demon Souls with the Storm Ruler, you want to charge it up until you can shoot a big wind blast. He went immediately into phase 2. That's actually bad, because of stuff like that happening. I like how my attack there just kind of went through his body. Very good hitboxes from Soft. Oh, come on. That is some awful luck. Wow. Come on, sir. So, we really want to bait Yorm into doing a certain attack, but he has the chance of doing that instead, which is kind of unlucky. We want him to do this, because it leaves him wide open for a headshot, and if you hit Yorm in the head, that's his weak point, and he is stunned for longer. It gives you time to charge up another attack. I messed up my positioning there. I had to back off. And that's Yorm. Relatively easy fight, but with just a little bit of bad luck, it can look a lot harder than what it really is. That was a poor fight. That was a poor fight overall, but hey, we got it. And now it's time to finally spend all this stuff that we've got. So we're going to go ahead and sell Yorm's Soul, which we just got. Give the Grave Warden's Ashes. We want 7 of these. 1 of these.
Ashen 1.
And now let's level ourselves up with all those extra souls we got. Because we can't quite upgrade our sword yet. And we're finally going to level health, just for the next few splits, because we have a long journey to go before it is time to, it's time to level up again. Or even time to sit at a bonfire if everything goes well. We're going to be doing quite a few splits here. If anyone would like to read off a donation right now, would be a great time. So go ahead and do so. Oh, being sick is bad. Ugh. Alright, so, next part of this run is a pretty rough area, and the reason we've kept this Alluring Skull for all this time is so that we can make this place a little bit easier. Oh, unless we're really unlucky. Oh, man. That was really poor. Ooh, that was bad. That was rough. Ooh, owie. So many ouchies. So yeah, like I said, that's a rough area. That's like 6 dogs and 4 or 5 magicians all shooting magic at you while the dogs attack you. And if a dog hits you, you get staggered. Oh man, that place is dangerous. So here's Pontiff Sullivan. This guy's a big, strong enemy. And he likes to do the cool guy walk. But, I mean, you know, he needs to get better at the game and stop telegraphing such easily parried attacks if he wants to be a cool guy. I mean, look at this. Look, this is just pathetic, Pontiff. This is just pathetic. Just pathetic, sir. So, shoutouts to everybody that's had trouble with that boss fight in the past. I know it's a rough boss fight and that we just kind of made it look easy, but, you know. The power of parrying. That was a pretty good split overall. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. We didn't die when the dogs started hitting us and staggering us. And we're quitting out here because there are a couple of crystal lizards that were running away from us, as you might have seen on the screen. We'd like them to not run away, and instead we'd like to kill them. Oh, come on, man. Just out of range. Whoops. That's on me. I hesitated. Ugh. Goo-goo-ba-ba. And now it's time to run ourselves to the next boss of the game. Normally I do some donations, but there is something I'd like to point out. If anyone may have never seen this area of the game before, or may have never played this area of the game before, but if you have played Dark Souls 1, you might recognize one or two things that we're about to look at. I mean, we got some pretty big architecture. We've got some pretty unique stuff. We've got some flying buttresses to run up. And oh look, giant arrows being shot at us. That's right. It's Lost Izalith. No, but really, we're going into Anor Londo, as it is in this game. And it does have this, still has the Silver Knights in it and everything like that, so we'll be heading into it in one more second with our favorite thing, the giant screw elevator. So, now, if anyone would like to read donations, would be a great time, now that we've, you know, gone past funny haha time. Taking a little safety bonfire. Alright, so, you know, we had some happy donations there, but it's time for sad times. Rip, giant friend. Bible thumping chat, everybody. Giant friend is gone. Nighty night. Aw, man. I liked Giant Blacksmith Friend in Dark Souls 1. Why'd they have to do that to him? So mean. So rude of them. Let's jump over this railing now. Because running into fireballs seems like a bad idea. Instead, we'll just jump this way. Oh, look, more fireballs. They really sprinkle annoying enemies into this area. So, like I said early on in the run, we're going to be using bleed against most bosses towards the end game. Carthus Rouge puts bleed on our weapon. Okay, arrows first, that's fine. And you may recognize Aldrich as looking very much like Gwendolyn from Dark Souls 1. That's because it is Gwendolyn from Dark Souls 1. Aldrich is actually the giant worm at the lower half of the body that's devouring Gwendolyn right now. Which actually upsets me because I really liked Gwendolyn's Covenant, so I'm gonna have to punish Aldrich hard. The main strategy for fighting Aldrich is to make sure that when he resurfaces out of the ground like that, we are close to him. That will prevent a certain very dangerous attack from happening. Because it is proximity-based more than anything, and now Aldrich will die. Easy fight, easy life. And now we're going to be teleported back to where the Dancer of the Boreal Valley is fought. Which is usually why you don't pick up any bonfires in the area. It's why you usually don't get the Vort bonfire, since the Vort bonfire is directly across from this area, because you just get a free teleport there. But, you know, in case I mess the fight up, yada yada yada, I should be fine, though. So, Emma's dead. I can't imagine how that happened. Some random person came in and shoved and cut her with a sword. I don't know. I didn't see anything. And now that we have the Basin of Vals, the Dancer boss will spawn. Favorite boss music in the game, baby. So this is actually a really dangerous boss, and I need to be pretty careful here. Especially for that. The grab attack that Dancer has is, like, her most dangerous thing. And now it's time to go into Danger Town. Spin to win. Oh, that was the shortest spin ever in the history of spins. She never spins that few times. Oh, oh. What is life? Everything is going wrong. Wow, what happened? I'm actually gonna take this bonfire. What in the world was that, Dancer? You spun twice and then finished? That's never been... She's never spun that few times before. Like, I know the big meme, oh, that's never happened before, but for real, when something happens that I just could not be prepared for, you know, everything goes to afterwards. That was, ooh. Normally, she does about 6 spins before she finishes with the big one. And I'm perfectly fine with that. Like, you know, I can deal with that because I'm a lot more used to it. But when she just does 2 and then suddenly there's the big 360 spin that's guaranteed to hit if you don't roll, that's, yeah. She has a minor visual indicator that she's about to do the big spin, so it's on me for getting hit by it. It's my fault. She does kind of, she postures herself a little bit for it, but I was fully unprepared. I was definitely not ready. So, you're going to see me kind of pause and unpause my game a little bit around this area. And that's because I am expecting the game to crash. Dark Souls 3, ever since the DLC came out, has had this awesome thing where it likes to crash after you go through the DLC. If you are speedrunning the game, you have to go through the game fast for it to crash, but it'll happen 100% of the time. And I expect it to happen on this split, either right about here or as we're going through the fog gate for the boss. That's generally when it happens. Are we dead? Yep, there it is. There's the crash. Dark Souls 3 has stopped working. So, it's really unfortunate that crashes do happen in this game. You know, you gotta roll with the punches. For the purposes of running for, like, record times and stuff like that, it's not a huge deal, because we run on in-game time in order to prevent, you know, faster loading times from determining a speedrun record or not, but for real time, this is a big pain in the butt, to put it mildly. So, if we have any donations, now would be a good time while the game's restarting. It crashed again. Dark Souls 3 is perfect. Alright, so we're back. So like I said before, anytime I would pause the game would be to save my position for when this crash happened. And now it's time for the next boss, Osiris. Oh nice, he's ready to go. So Osiris is a relatively simple boss to fight. In most cases. Phase 1 is pretty easy overall. Ow.
Are you hiding from me? Come out.
No vape.
Come out. Don't be afraid.
Dude, you're a dragon, you're not a frog. Stop jumping.
Child of dragons. What could you possibly fear?
So, Phase 2 is when this guy gets really dangerous. Specifically because he gains an attack. I like to just call it what it is, the instant charge. And it has, like, no indicator that it's gonna happen, and it happens immediately, and his entire body is the hitbox. And if you're really unlucky, then he'll do stuff like this, where he just does charging over and over again. Stop it! And you never get a chance to attack him. I am the unluckiest person in the goddamn world. Holy crud, man. Okay, he's gonna charge. Please no charge again. Please no. I just want to end it. Wow. You're not a dragon at all, you're a freaking frog, apparently, because all you do is... He jumped a lot there. He jumped so many times. I can't believe that. That is some incredibly poor luck. Incredibly poor luck. Wow. But we got past it. We've got this gesture, which we'll need for to get to the next boss, because it's in a secret area. And, you know, that's an illusory wall, which will take us to a bonfire to get us to another area later. This is for the future. I think we'll do a quick Peach level up, a safety level up, a safety spending of the souls. Because the next trick we're going to do for the next boss is a little bit dangerous, a little bit, unsafe. So I might as well just do this, right?
Ashen 1.
Well, where the heck?
Doodle-doo. Perfect. Alright, we're ready to go. That's just because, normally I don't do that. I haven't done that in a while. I haven't done a safety thing there in a while, but, you know, it's one of those things where this is actually a legitimately dangerous trick to do that we're going to be doing. And if I died and lost my souls, the run would become very difficult. Because that's a little over 200,000 souls. You know, we leveled up once or twice, we bought 1 or 2 items. Now then, Back at the Profane Capital, there's an area in Irithyll Dungeon, which is actually the transportation path to this, this secret area, past all of these jailers. Which means it must be a pretty neat place to go since you have to get past all these annoying enemies. So come right over here to this carpet and let's have a sit down. We're going right over there to that mountain. Hey look, we did it. We got to the mountain in that cutscene. How does it happen? Honestly, I don't know. In the cutscene, you just kind of close your eyes and then you wake up and you're here. So we are now in Archdragon Peak. This is probably the brightest area in the entire game. It's like the most lit area. It's so lit, fam. It also has my favorite personal rock in the game, the untextured rock. Look at that untextured rock. FromSoft has not textured that rock since the game's release. They can't be bothered. Make sure that that rock looks good. But you know what? I like it. It's unique. It looks different from all the other rocks. It's a rebel. So we're going to activate this bonfire here just as a safety precaution. I wouldn't like to run through that area over and over and over again if something goes wrong. Because we're about to go to... Honestly, this split has forever been just a big RNG fest for whether or not you're going to have a good split. And even though we have a new strat that is faster and a little more consistent, it's still a bit reliant on RNG if you want to go really fast. I'm going to do the backup strat, which is a little bit more consistent and doesn't rely on the enemy doing the right attacks, because you can guarantee some attacks. But the way that Ancient Wyvern works is you have to do a plunging attack to kill the boss, and it will kill it in one hit. Otherwise, the boss has a lot of health and a lot of defenses, and takes forever. So, we're going to take advantage of the geometry and do a jumping attack in order to trick the game into thinking we did a plunging attack to the boss. Which, sometimes doesn't work on the first try. I think I went a little bit early, that's on me. Oh, come on, that was good. Come on, game. That's not cool, dude. Camera, please. Okay. I legitimately messed that one up because the camera went crazy there for a second. What? I'm confused. Was I, like, the slightest bit too far to the left there? Weird. This is a pretty new trick, so despite being really practiced at the normal way to do it, sometimes the backup method is still, a little bit dodgy. But there we go. So that was... Oh, I'm sorry. That was not good. That's the longest I've taken on that particular split in a while. But, hey, there we go. We're fine. Got through it. Took, I don't know, like 45 seconds longer than it should have, if not more. Feels a little bit black, man, but hey, it's okay. It's okay. So, now we're just going to run through this area. Along the way, we will be picking up some Twinkling Titanite. Specifically, we're going to pick up 6 pieces of Twinkling Titanite along the way so that we can +4 our weapon. And we're going to pick up a Titanite slab to +5 it. You know, here's the first piece of that. This guy will drop 3. Excuse me? Excuse me? Hitboxes are great in this game. No problems at all, you know? What was that? Tink, tink. Ow. Guy's heavy. He landed on my shoulders. So yeah, there's Ancient Wyvern again, in case you wanted to look at him again. Literally the exact same model and everything, but that one's not a boss, it's just a normal enemy. And, surprisingly enough, doesn't die instantly to a plunging attack. And 3 more. So, we're about to go up this ladder, and we're gonna see someone that a lot of people are gonna like seeing. Or hate seeing, you know. Anyway, let's go talk with our man, Pavel, The Rock, Johnson. But rather than talk to him, I'm gonna cast Spook so he doesn't see me and kill me in one hit. Oof. Well, he did the fast attack. You know, sometimes that happens. Not often, but sometimes. So I didn't have a chance to dodge there. I'm gonna heal just for safety purposes, because these guys are gonna be a little bit mad at me. But wow. Everything that could go wrong is going wrong on this run. This is great. This is like the worst luck I've had on a run in forever. This is wonderful. Oh, man. So, let's go ahead and sell that soul we picked up. It's worth 20,000. I got nothing to purchase from you, but I do have some souls to spend at Andre, because we're going to be upgrading our weapon to +5 now. It is maxed out. We can use this Estus shard. Our Estus flask is now full. I've actually got it at 7 and +2 for minor safety purposes. It's more than I usually have. And let's upgrade endurance. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's continue the run. We're ready to go. So back to Lothric Castle, because it's time to go defeat the last Lord of Cinder. So, yeah, the basic story of this game is we've been going around collecting the souls of the Lords of Cinder, or the heads of the Lords of Cinder, in order to open the pathway to the Kiln of the First Flame. Because they wouldn't willingly just help us out. So, here we are killing them. And there's only one more left for us to get. The Lords of Cinder that we've been getting have been the Abyss Watchers, Aldrich, and Yorm. And the last one to get will be Prince Lothric, so we have to go to Lothric Castle for that. We do a little quit out there to make sure that that dragon doesn't hit us with any fire, and we're good to go. We have time for one donation while we run to the boss. Go ahead. Wow. All right. So, I know I said we're going to be bleeding a lot of bosses. Dragon Slayer armor is a suit of armor. You can't bleed a suit of armor. It's got no blood to bleed, even if it may look like it. So we use Pale Pine Resin for some extra magic damage instead. I actually really like this boss. I think it's a really neat boss. Especially because it has a shield that it uses as a weapon. I always think shields as a weapon is pretty neat. I know I'm saying neat a lot. I'm sorry. And we're done. But I think that's a really cool boss. It's also a very It's a very fair boss to fight. It feels fair during the fight. It doesn't feel like it's cheating like some bosses do. So, yeah, I like the Dragon Slayer armor. It's too bad it's such a, it's a really short fight when you get used to it. We'll just do this for safety. A couple more Estus fast charges. And let's go. Oh, look at that. That was actually a really, really good Dragon Slayer armor split. That was a darn solid fight. He didn't give me any guff. He didn't put his shield up for very long. He only blocked for one attack, and other than that, that was perfect. Sometimes Dragon Slayer armor can be a little annoying, because since he has a shield, he does use the shield like a shield, and he blocks attacks. If he does that during the run, obviously, it wastes a little bit of time, but, you know. Now it's time for us to go through the Grand Archives. Not a whole lot to say about this area. It's your basic run through the area dodge stuff, so if we've got any donations, now is a great time. Wrecked. Safety elevator. Right, so shoutouts to Demon Souls with this area. This area looks very Demon Souls-esque. You know, you got these barricades set up as like a final holdout against some sort of enemy that might have come here before, along with just a gauntlet of enemies towards the end. Pretty neat. And now it's time to fight the princes of the twin princes. Specifically, the first one we're going to fight is Lothric's older brother, Lorien. He's the muscle of the family. And Lothric is going to make the fight harder by teleporting Lorien around. Like so. Oh, environmental stuff got in the way. Ow. I messed that roll up. Wow, stop teleporting. So, the more this guy teleports, the longer the fight takes. And you can do some movement to make him teleport a little less, but overall, he's usually pretty annoying about it. And now for Phase 2, the hardest part of Phase 2 is the beginning, because of all this magic that's flying around. That Lothric shot out.
This spot marks our grave.
Wow!
But you may rest here
What did I
too,
do?
if you like.
That's the first time in so long that something like that has happened. He did a really, really aggressive, like, full spin slamming attack onto me at the beginning of phase 2, and like, that never happens. For reals, that never happens. Oh, well. Yep. Gotta have some bad luck, I guess. Wow. For real, wow. Well, alright, I guess we'll go do that again real quick. Jeez, man. So much bad luck on this run this time around. This is one of the worst the worst sets of RNG I have had in a Dark Souls 3 speedrun in quite some time. Alright, let's go. Get back right back on that horse. The horse being this crippled guy that's attacking me. So, the basic strategy for this guy is to kind of circle strafe him and stay towards his open hand. And by doing so, you can generally put yourself in a position where you can prevent having to roll. Wow, I haven't seen that attack in forever either. Dude, Lorian's bringing out some classics. Come here, sir. Oh, again. Perfect. Oh, dude. That recovery. Okay, what is my luck? Wow! This is incredible! Welcome to the unluckiest speedrun of Dark Souls 3 in the history of mankind. So, Lothric is the actual boss here, and will respawn Lorien. So he has to be the one to die at the end. Oh my goodness. That was painful. That was physically painful. I cannot believe the amount of just... Wow. The game really did not give me a single break there.
Well,
It did the exact opposite of that. It piled on the pain.
farewell.
Well,
Ashen
that
One.
was oof. I don't even know how to describe that. Just bad. Bad in so many different ways. He did so many attacks I haven't seen in a long time. A long time. But that's what speedrunning's all about, adapting to new situations that you're not used to. That separates the good speedrunners from the bad ones, and that's why I died. Because I suck. Oh, that was special. That was a very special run right there. Oh, now it is time to go back to kind of a mid-gamey boss. We're doing it late because he's very dangerous if you fight him in the mid-game, but in the late game you can stagger him over and over again. It's this guy right here. Oh, no, not him. But, it is a demon. It is the old Demon King. He lives below the catacombs. And in Smoldering Lake, which is, I think, supposed to be the Lost Izalith of Dark Souls 3. I mean, there's a lot of things that suggest that, so... Here we go, to the Smoldering Lake right here. Ba-boom. This place actually looks pretty nice, too. There's a lot of particle effects floating around. Heck, I think I even have my settings on low right now, and it looks pretty good. So that's a giant sandworm. Don't worry about the loud explosions going on. That is just a giant ballista in the distance shooting shots at me. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Here's another one. And another. It shoots them in rounds of 3. Technically, instead of a ballista, it's a giant javelin. Which, anyone that's played the Dark Souls series might know that is the crossbow that shoots 3 shots. So, like I said before, some enemies can't bleed. This is another one that does not bleed. He's made of stone. So we use Pale Pine Resin on this guy as well for a little bit of extra damage. He's already in phase 2. Alright. Go ahead and... No, stop that. No meteors. And easy peasy. Okay, 1 meteor. 1 meteor is fine. So, that fight can be very, very dangerous. At times. The reason we do it so late is because he has some attacks that just honestly can't be dodged very well. And some attacks that can, even at this late game stage, one-shot you. For example, that meteor attack can absolutely murder you. Because he usually summons... If he's given a little bit of time, if he does it right away, he'll summon like 10 meteors and send them all straight down onto your head. And if anyone's played Final Fantasy VII, you know that meteor is the ultimate attack. Sephiroth taught everyone that. Actually, Final Fantasy in general, meteor is the ultimate attack. So, hey, does this place look familiar? Do you guys remember like an hour and a half or so ago? When we were running through the beginning of the game, this place might look a lot like that, because it is that. Only darker. And hey, look, it's Udex Gundyr again. Only a little different this time around. He doesn't have a sword thrust through his chest. Or some weird black snake thing coming out of his back. But he is still parryable. And because he is parryable, we will have to get good at this fight and parry him. So this is what Gundyr would be if he didn't have that black snake thing in his back. He would be Champion Gundyr. And he is a tough fight in Phase 2, so we never let him get to Phase 2 by killing him before he gets a chance to get started. Get wrecked, sir. That is a really good example of why Bleed is so good for speedrunning in Dark Souls 3. Because the Bleed procs make it so that he takes a 2 or 3 bleed procs on that. Big hits of extra damage, and he doesn't get to really start the fight. Easy fight when you practice it a lot. Good decent. So now it's time for what a lot of people said was the hardest fight in Dark Souls 3. I disagree with them personally, but we're about to do Nameless King. Part of the reason why people would say it's the hardest fight is because it's got two phases to it, probably. Which, you know, you add more than one phase to a boss fight, where it has more than one health bar, it does become a harder fight. And phase 1, we have to kill this dragon that he rides in on. The chicken dragon, because he's got those chicken legs. Bad RNG. Stop with the bad RNG, game. More bad RNG. Oh my goodness, this is the worst attack. Why do you hate me, Dark Souls? I just want to speed you. I just want to be speedy. So, this guy staggers if you hit him in the beak. So, hitting him in the beak, you can stagger him and then get a repost off. And kill him really fast. Now it's time for the actual boss. This guy can be very dangerous, because he does a lot of damage if he hits you. So the plan is to never get hit. I mean, that's the plan always, right? This should stagger. Never mind. I'm dumb. This should stagger, though. And bada bing, bada boom. Dead King. Get wrecked, nerd. Easy fight. Easy peasy. Look at that. That was actually a really smooth fight. Other than the dragon flying around in phase 1, which was unlucky, that was super good. So let's go ahead and sell these souls. We're going to buy some more Karthus Blood Rouge for the last little bit of the game. We're very close to the end now, guys. We've only got 3 bosses left to go. But one of them is a doozy. A doozy of a boss. So, remember when we went back to when we went through the DLC? Well, let's go to the Corvian settlement right now. Hiccup. And this is going to allow us to go to the, another hiccup. Allow us to go to the boss in the fastest manner possible. We're about to do a really precise ball control quit out. Because what we have to do is I have to jump over a kill box. It's called a kill box for a reason. You know, you touch it, you die. Simple as that. So I have to jump over it to get to the area where I can do the fall control quit out and not hit the kill box. I also fall on an invisible platform to do it. It's actually, it's a really tight jump because you have to jump right at the end of that small rock ledge that I jumped off of. But once you do it, you skip breaking down a bridge and going down a huge root system with a lot of enemies on it and going through a bunch of extra stuff that you would have to do. And instead, you just get down here nice and fast. And this is the nice-looking boss arena for our next boss. It actually looks very much like the arena from Bloodborne where you fight Gehrman. So first part of the boss fight is killing those dogs, and now the actual boss fight. So there's a nuanced strategy for fighting the Grave Tender. It is to walk up to him and spam R1, and never stop spamming R1. Very, very strategically sound. It works really well most of the time. Didn't really mean to do that repost, but I'll take it. And now for the real boss, this wolf. He's got a little bit more going on for him. Unfortunately, he kind of didn't do what he got stuck on the pillars there. Get out of the wall! Okay, a little bit unlucky. He clipped into the wall there. Don't pay attention to that. FromSoft doesn't want you to know that that happened. They don't want you to know that that wolf just clipped into that wall to make the fight harder by accident. Don't worry, that didn't happen if you don't believe in the fact that it happened. If you just ignore it, it's fine. Wow, man. His entire body was inside of that rock. Because he got locked into that animation of his, and for one reason or another, he's allowed to just phase through solid matter when he does that. I guess he's a ghost? Weird. So, before this next boss fight, feel free to read one quick donation off while we turn this lever.
Flickering once again.
So, now it's time for what I consider to be the hardest boss in the run since DLC was added. It's time for Sister Frida, and this is a tough boss fight, guys. I don't want to, like, make excuses before the fight even begins, but the boss fight is difficult. Please forgive me if it doesn't look perfect, because it probably won't, and already doesn't. Okay, she went invisible, so she's over here. Hey, look, she has poise. You know, you can get those robes in-game. They don't give you a lot of poise. Why does she get all the poise? Shenanigans. Cheater. Cheating cheater. So now it's time for Phase 2. Father Ariandel and Frida. You have to fight both of them at the same time. You know, shades of Ornstein and Smo. Got him, alright. That was a very smooth Phase 2. That was nice. Sometimes Phase 2 goes a lot rockier than that. And we got a Titanite slab for our trouble. Yay, we did it! Kinda. Surprise, everybody! There's 3 phases! Frida the Undying gets up once more for the most anime fight in the game. That was a pretty anime opening right there. Really? Freaking really? What was that? Game? That was garbage is what that was. Alright, let me just go ahead and get this little backstab in. Charged R2 follow-up. So as you can see, what the big trouble with her is her recovery animations are fast. There's not a whole lot of opportunity to hit her in most cases. Which means that if you're a little unlucky with the attacks that she does, it makes for a difficult and kind of brutal fight. Honestly, that Phase 3 went pretty poorly. She didn't give me many of the better attacks that you can get.
Very well done.
We're just gonna peach this real quick. Yeah, 3 more levels, why
Ashen
not?
one.
But overall, that was okay. That was a perfectly fine Frida overall. Not optimal, but worthwhile. So let's go ahead and shove these skulls that we've been collecting of the Lords of Cinder onto these pillars and go to the final boss in the Kiln of the First Flame. Minor animation cancel. Good animation cancel. Nice. Nice. Like I've said before, you can cancel animations by falling while you do them, which is a tight framing window to do, but it does speed up things a little bit. You know what? This run, other than the incredibly terrible luck on certain splits, has been pretty good. By which I mean this run's not been very good at all. The incredible bad luck on certain splits has been rough. Been a bit more difficult than I was hoping it would be, but hey, that's speedrunning for you. Well, why not? Safety first. I don't want to, but deep in my heart, I don't want to activate that bonfire, but let's go. Alright, final boss of the game, the Soul of Cinder. It's a really neat boss. So one thing about the Soul of Cinder I'll be doing is I'll be trying to manipulate his AI. Soul of Cinder likes to read your inputs and respond based on whatever input you did. Whoops. With certain attacks. So by holding certain directions and doing certain movements, I can almost guarantee certain attacks don't happen and try to bait out others. Like that. That's a really good attack to get. Really good attacks to get. Very nice. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate as heck. Alright, you know what? It went fine in the end. He went into the the really annoying phase there, but it went fine in the end. Alright, everybody. I want everybody in chat to prepare their Bible thumps. Because it's Gwyn. Bible thump for the win. Clink, clink, plonk, clink. Rip Gwyn. You will forever be remembered as the boss of Dark Souls 1. So yeah, that's the Gwyn fight that FromSoft always wanted, the one where you can't parry him because it's impossible to parry that guy. And time's coming up in just a second. Time's coming up right when I quit out here. 3, 2, and time. Hey, what was that? 145.43? That's actually not terrible. That's about my average run. That's an average run for me for real time. In-game time, 127.55, a bit slower than I'd like it to be, but hey, that was some poor luck overall, so... overall, that was a pretty fun run. I had an enjoyable time. Hope anyone that watched had an enjoyable time too, and hey, shoutouts to SGDQ and everyone there. Thanks for at least watching this video for any time that you did, and if you enjoyed it, I'd be happy to be part of the runners at SGDQ. Good luck to the guy that actually gets in for whatever Dark Souls game gets played, and thanks so much for the time. See you later, everybody.